Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Hip Hop Babies.
Yes, sir.
Whoa. So, host with the most, Deadleigh. You know, I got my boy Ray with me as always.
Yes, sir.
And we getting into this new Niontay for the love of the money. Come on, sir. Man. I'm excited about this, bro. We never talked about Niontay on this channel. First review for an artist. He's got a background that is kind of new. He not really been making too much. He had Dante's Inferno come out in 2023. This one coming out in 2025. He hails from New York, so he's really tapped into that scene. This is some good experimental rap, man. This is some good shit coming out of New York, bro. That's not pro era, but it's good music, bro. So I'm excited to talk about this today.
This is my first full Niontay project. I've heard tracks off Dante's Inferno, but never fully went back to it. I listened to the Demon Muppy EP, and it had the song Real Hip Hop with Earl, El Custo, I think Mike, all of them were on there. So that was my first introduction to him on like a project scale. So going into this one, I didn't know what to expect really for a full project, and it's a little longer. It's not hecka long, but you know, longer than the EP at least.
It's 43 minutes. That's long.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's a little bit to sit through, but for the most part, I enjoyed this project. He impressed me with his ability to flow the way he did, but still keep me listening to what he was saying or trying to figure it out. And what I did love is that on Apple Music, for the most part, it had the lyrics on there. I'm assuming he posted them himself because they seem pretty accurate, which helped me get into the songs more as I kept listening.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I had to get used to the flow. He has a unique flow. I mean, I've heard him before, obviously, but like, you know, he's just like, nah, we going right into it, right? So.
But like, that's what you want. Like, once you get into it, that's what you want, you know. And you know, the more I listen to it, the more I'm like getting the other songs, and it's picking up. You know, he does a lot of production on here, bro. He goes by Alter Ego. His is Sex After Church. That's his Instagram as well. You know, he does a lot of his own production on here, so I feel like he really knows how to set the mood for himself. So I respect it, bro. Just do what you do, like say what you say. Like, he definitely doesn't need to make it more palatable to an audience, because in my opinion, I mean, sometimes I like stuff off first rip. It took me a little bit, and I wasn't so sure about it at first. I seen this guy on TikTok. You know, I was like, seeing him on TikTok doing like little videos and shit, and I was like, all right, I kind of see it. And then the moment I was seeing like, oh, he's working with Mike, he's working with Sideshow, he's working with Mavi, you know, I might as well listen. I might as well try. And, you know, when I did, I was like, thank God I did, bro, because this album slaps, bro. The production on here is insane from start to finish. He's got some groove in him, and he's got some slower shit. Definitely some psychedelic stuff on here, the interludes and stuff, and like the little parts where, you know, it gives us some space. But like, I don't feel like there's any misses on here. I feel like it's just all gas, no brakes on this project for me.
The more I listened to it, the more I got accustomed to it. The track that instantly hit me though was Mr. Have My Way. I love the flow on that. I love the beat. The hook was catchy. I've been saying it randomly. You can't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just fun. Like, I feel like this project has a lot of like little quotables, little random lines, because he doesn't censor himself. He doesn't, you know, try to make it conventional or try to make it necessarily make sense if you're not paying attention to what he's talking about or in the know, right? Because he uses a lot of terms, or he just talks his shit. And I appreciate that. Even with the, you know, the real hip hop, you know, I brought up that track earlier. It wasn't, real hip hop is what you make it. And I think he's making his version of hip hop in his way. And this is unique. You know, someone might compare it to maybe V's, and I can kind of hear that, but even then, it's not like he sounds completely like V's. Like, it's,
you know what, bro?
He's doing it his own way.
When I was first listening to it, bro, like a couple of these songs, like if you're like zoning out, you're like, damn, that sounds like V's on these tracks. But like, it's different. He says his own stuff. Like you said, he's got like weird little quotables, which are so fun. And then just like the beats, bro, like I'm dancing to like all these tracks. Like you said, like it's fun music. And he talks about real shit. There's little gems. Puts a lot of different bars together. It's not like super story cohesive, you know, like that kind of stuff, but it doesn't need to be. And I think that kind of plays into it. It makes it more fun. It's just like sporadic, like you said. Like you just get those random lines, and you're like, "That was wild. Why did you say that?"
Even with the track titles and everything, it's all over the place. And I do think that it works because it brings this level of, well, what is this track going to be about? Because sometimes the tracks, I mean, he might say that word or you might put that element in the track, but really it doesn't revolve around what the track, like, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes he's rapping about a bunch of different things in his verses. You know, it's not really cohesive, but I did notice that the second half had more of a slower tone with more of the tracks than the first half. Because you have tracks like, Vice Grip was a more of a heavy track. It was kind of different. Mama see it in my eyes. My vices are winning. He's just talking about how he's doing his shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to enjoy his time or whatever. That was an interesting listen. He has moments like that throughout the album, spread out.
That one's like more like in the middle, but like he can get to that deeper side every now and then. And sometimes he just needs other people to bring it out of him. I feel like Triangle Offense was another example of that. And just him and like Bobby and Sideshow, crazy flows on there. I just felt like they work so well together. You were talking about first song that like appealed to you. Mine was definitely the Hiss of Technology. Like that song, like the beat on that song, like my God, bro. Like it's just like I feel like I'm in the future, bro. I feel like I'm in the DeLorean, driving, bro. Like the way he does that, bro. And, I listened to it all the way through the first time, and like not a lot was sticking out to me. I feel like some of the stuff can sound samey at times if you're just listening to it for the first time. But that track instantly stuck out to me. I felt like the production on there was just amazing. It took me through a loop, bro. I was like, man, I gotta play it back. I gotta find some other tracks on here.
If you're not paying attention and you just let the album play, it might not all hit you. Because it's a whole package here. He might have a track on here called Mumble Man. And no lie, he's kind of mumbling a little bit. But it's like playful. It's a part of it. And it's not like he's just not trying. So there is that element of like, you want to still kind of listen. Mumble Man, Trigger Man. You know what I'm saying? Like he has different sides. He has different things he wants to hop around and talk about. But you just have to be able to tune in.
Yeah, definitely a little bit. When I was talking to other people, they were telling me, a little bit of mumbling here and there, but I don't ever like say an artist is mumbling. Like I feel like certain dialects, like it just sounds like words like kind of like jumbled together sometimes. I feel like that might be the case for this. You just read the lyrics, like
X Factor. That was a highlight for me. I love that track.
X Factor was grooving, bro. Like straight grooving.
It was crazy. It was crazy. I enjoyed that.
I feel like these beats on here are a little futuristic and like are really like taking some of that stuff to another level, like Benny X. Like I really like Benny X, and I feel like what he does with Yeet is like futuristic. This is like another path. You know what I'm saying? The Hiss of Technology. This is what we're getting, from this era, and I feel like Niontay, with him being able to produce like this and then also rap on it like this, I feel like he's really pushing the sound along. So I really wanted to talk about this, and that's why I think it could be on your top 10, bro. So I think it could be on your top 10.
Yeah, possibly. I'm happy I stuck with this one. Not saying I stuck with it as far as like I didn't enjoy it at all at first, but like I'm happy we, decided to talk about it and it stuck, and it's still a good time to talk about it. I do think I'll at least keep playing tracks from this in my rotation when I'm just doing certain things.
For sure. For me personally, I know it took a long time for me to, back in the day, to get over like the stigma on certain artists, just to like get into them and have like fun with it. Really like production levels, like beat selection for Future, he's insane. His flows are insane, and that's some similar stuff that I see in Niontay, like beat selection and how he's able to curate his beats, and then the flows that he puts on here, bro. Like it's top level.
Yeah, and he obviously has, good people around him. The features did add another level to this. This is a solid project, man. I can't complain. I got what I wanted. This was a good impression for a first full-length project listen,
I think he's going to go far. And I really can't say anything bad about this project. This just like did it for me. You got Top 3 tracks.
Number 1, I already brought it up, Mr. Have My Way.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll be feeling like Mr. Have My Way, so this track goes well. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with it. Number 2, Triangle Offense. And then for my number 3, I'm going to go Vice Grip.
Took one of mine.
I mean, but we going to have the same track.
I know. There's a lot of tracks on here, but definitely I have Vice Grip on there. Vice Grip is absolutely insane, bro. And then I got Deadleigh Technology. That's my closing track of the year at this point. And then lastly, bro, I'm going to have to do 32 Summers. I think that's what it is, right? Or
32 Summers.
That shit is crazy. You know what it was? You know what it is? I just felt like that was a great way to start off the track. The whistle, bro, like that shit's iconic to me in my household, bro. My child will know that at one point, you know, like, love that track, bro. So, yeah, that's my top 3. Well, with that being said, thank y'all so much for watching this episode of the Hip Hop Babies. Shout out to Niontay. Thank you for this album. Go make sure you stream this album For the Love of the Money. We'll have it linked below. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe for this YouTube channel. If y'all like content like this, we're going to have more, obviously. We'll have it on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, all that. So just make sure y'all follow us on everything. All right. Thank y'all so much for listening, and I'm going to pass it off to my boy Ray.
Shout out to Niontay. Shout out to producers, everyone who worked on this, all the features on here. Keep it coming. Stay original. Of course, you know, don't switch it up to try to appease certain people, because I feel like you've obviously found your audience. And I'm a part of it now, as far as like I'm going to be looking for what you drop next, album-wise, EP-wise, whatever it is. So, yeah, man, dope project. Thanks for everyone listening. And with that being said,
peace.